We've spoken about the culture behind travel and my choice thoughts about it in a previous video. However, we did that in more of a general sense. In the sense of why are people so obsessed with it? Why do they clamor for travel? Today, we're going to discuss an important aspect of travel, and that is accommodations. But this is also which accommodations? Hostels. Something I really don't understand when traveling. Why anybody would go to a hostel. It makes zero sense to me. Before you say anything, I've had the unfortunate experience of staying in hostels, and believe you me, it's not fun. Why would you want to share a room with 30 other people? You hear them snoring, farting, talking in their sleep, amongst other things, and there's no privacy. There's no personal space except for your little cot. You could potentially get your stuff stolen, your documents, what little money you have, and then of course your backpack. I never understood why it's part of the travel culture when someone's young to go and backpack through Europe. And stay in a hostel that may or may not be run down. And before you say anything about, there's actually some hostels out there that are nicer than some hotels, we're going to get to that in a second. It makes no sense to me as well. When I've spoken to other people about why they stay in hostels, they also say there's a social aspect. The hostels offer events, some of them have bars in it. Guess what? Hotels have the exact same thing. And I will argue that their bars and their restaurants are probably way better than that at the average hostel. Not to mention, if you're trying to find people to hang out with, well, I'm sorry to say, that's what a guided tour is for. If you do your research before you go, even just a quick Google search, you'll find that most places have a hop-on and hop-off bus or a guided tour. You can meet people that way. You can meet people in your hotel bar or in a random bar in the city that you're in. You can meet people if you really want to. You don't need a hostel to go and meet new people. Now, even though there are so-called reputable hostels, such as Hosteling International, it still pales in comparison to a hotel with a comfy bed, a private bathroom, not one that you have to share, at least some modicum of privacy as well. Usually there's a little safe in the hotel too, where you can throw your valuables in there and you don't have to worry about it. You can put your passport and whatever the heck else you want in there without having to worry about it being stolen or you losing it. More often than not, at this nice hotel, they have great amenities. Sometimes they have a pool. Sometimes they even have, I would say most of the time, a beautiful restaurant and a nice, classy bar. And this is the one thing that I want to that I covered in my previous video that I sort of want to transplant into this one. Traveling to me, I get the impression that it's a flex. It's something just to up your status without having to make any sort of real effort. As somebody who viewed my video commented, shout out to you, homie. But I'll take it one step further. Travel is really not just supposed to be about experiencing and truly immersing yourself in another culture, and you only do that not just by eating the food and chilling out in their city for about a couple of days to a couple of weeks. It's about really reading their books, learning their language, understanding their ideas. It's so much more than just, let me eat the food, wear the scarf, and go on. That's such a low-hanging fruit, entry-level, and, in my opinion, a little bit of a disrespectful way of experiencing another culture. Travel is meant to be about luxury and class. You're meant to take in all of that culture while still having some level of luxury and comfort. You're not supposed to be broke and slum it out in a hostel. It doesn't make any sense, at the risk of sounding like certain people on the internet, but why would you ever want to scrimp and save money on a hostel? At the very least, get an Airbnb if you can't afford a hotel. At the very least, even if it's just a room in a house, at least you'll have your own private room. Right? To me, it makes absolutely 0 cents. And honestly, sharing a room with the biggest, with let's say 30 other people, to me, it's the cope of the century. In short, hostels in general are the cope of the century. It's an even weirder flex too. Like if you tell somebody, oh yeah, I spent 3 weeks in insert place name. Oh nice, where did you stay? I stayed at these hostels. It makes no sense to me. Why would you brag about staying in a hostel? You at the very least say, oh, I stayed in this really cool Airbnb, or you know what, I was at this beautiful hotel and it was nice. Got to eat these really nice food, meet these cool people, everything else. And in my opinion, this is hot take incoming. If you can't afford to stay in a hotel when you're traveling, or at the very least an Airbnb, you probably can't afford to travel. That means that you spent all of your money on the airfare, and you're probably essentially scrimping to eat while you're over there, which means that you probably should wait until you've gotten your money up before you even consider traveling. In any event, I turn the question on to you. When you travel, where do you stay? Do you stay in a hotel, an Airbnb, or a hostel? If it's a hostel, please tell me, what's the appeal? I really don't understand it. And again, spare me the whole boilerplates of, oh, you get to meet new people, whatever else. If it's for the cost option, I can accept that. There's no problem with it. In my opinion, though, everybody should be traveling with some baseline level of comfort, and a comfort means a comfortable airline seat. We'll cover that in the next one I do on travel, and a nice, comfortable space such as a hotel or an Airbnb where you can stay at and you can chill and enjoy the sights, enjoy the culture, enjoy the food, read a nice book, and not have to worry about anything. Like I said, if you let me know how you travel in the comments below, drop a like on the video, drop a comment down there, and as always, thank you so much for watching.